The name's Lobo. That's L as in lacerate, O as in obliterate.
First introduced in Omega Man comics in 1983, Lobo, or Main Man, has garnered quite a lot of attention as an intergalactic bounty hunter. He is one of the last members of the Czarnian species, and he has stepped up to be a huge nuisance to the heroes of the DC multiverse. While he is best known for his regeneration powers and durability, Lobo also boasts of genius-level intellect, even if it might not be evident from his colorful language. Today, we will be exploring some of his hidden powers and tell you all about them. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin. Origins of Lobo. Originating from the planet of Czarnia, Lobo was first introduced in the Omega Men comics by Roger Slifer and Keith Giffen. His name can be traced back to the Kund dialect, and it can be loosely translated as someone who devours your entrails and thoroughly enjoys it. In this way, his first appearance came with a warning, and he soon left us all speechless after killing off his species out of boredom. The Czarnians were known to be immortal, but Lobo's birth marked the beginning of an evil era on a paradise planet that knew nothing about war. In fact, his evil was so apparent upon birth that he bit off his nurse's fingers and drove her to insanity. She ended up being the first mental patient on the planet in over 10 millennia, but Lobo did not stop there and soon dreamed of genocide. After coming up with a plan to wipe out his entire planet, Lobo laughed it all off and grew up to be a ruthless bounty hunter across galaxies and universes. Number 1. Immortality. Besides being immune to all forms of diseases or the effects of aging, Lobo also seems to be immortal due to a technicality. As it turns out, he managed to get himself banned from both heaven and hell, and there is no way for him to reach the afterlife. In a way, he is destined to live forever, as neither angels nor demons wish to claim him due to his reckless nature. In fact, a decree stating that his soul cannot be collected under any conditions has been CC'd to all forms of gods, goddesses, devils, and death itself, and he has been categorized as an untouchable under Clause 27C of the Immortality Brief of 12 BC. While one can eradicate his body, Lobo can always regenerate and take on a new physical form, and he always returns to life in a more annoyed state than before. He can only be truly killed at the hands of another Czarnian, but this seems impossible since Lobo wiped his entire species out of boredom. His immortality makes him the last Czarnian who will never truly die, and rest assured, the Main Man will remain a threat to our superheroes for eternities to come. Number 2. Superhuman Strength. While Lobo's superhuman strength is not that much of a hidden power, many fans are unaware of the extent of his strength. He is often underestimated in combat, even though he has managed to defeat the likes of Superman and Green Lantern, among other big names in the DC universe. Of course, Lobo's strength varies from one comic to another, and he cannot even pick up a couple of cars in some iterations while somehow displaying enough strength to destroy entire planets in others. However, he is depicted as a powerful entity in most appearances, and he can easily lift around 1,000,000 tons without blinking an eye. He also has inexhaustible stamina and superhuman reflexes, enabling him to dodge his opponent's attacks and take them by surprise. Besides fighting against Superman on a bunch of occasions, Lobo has defeated Shazam, Green Lantern, and a few imps in the 5th dimension. While all of this is impressive, Lobo's greatest achievement so far would be his victory against Darkseid in the Injustice comic series, which is inarguably a true testament to his strength. Number 3. Superhuman Regeneration. While Lobo's enhanced reflexes and durability help him stay out of trouble, there have been a few instances where he has managed to injure himself. Since he is a Czarnian, he has an impressive regenerative factor that heals any damaged tissue in a matter of seconds. There is no limit to his regenerative abilities, and he could even come back to life out of a pool of his own blood after recycling the cells to take a physical form. He can return to life even after being entirely disintegrated or decapitated, which makes it nearly impossible to kill him. In the Injustice comic series, Darkseid hired Lobo to kill Superman, and the bounty hunter somehow managed to bounce back with no injuries even after Superman grabbed him and flew him into the sun. In another such instance, Lobo made an appearance in the live-action Krypton series where he passes through a force field and somehow regenerates an entire severed limb. Number 4. Advanced Combat Skills. While Lobo has superhuman strength, he is quite a skilled combatant, even without resorting to brute force to defeat his opponents. He has mastered a wide range of fighting techniques in both armed and unarmed combat, and he can hold his fort even against the likes of Superman, Batman, or Aquaman. Number 5. Genius level intellect. While Lobo often resorts to brute force to teach his opponents a lesson, he is actually quite an intelligent being capable of great things. He managed to put together a napalm bomb at the young age of 5, and he even studied physics and other sciences as a kid. He was also capable of crafting super complex weapons and was a lot more than a super brawny bounty hunter. In fact, he often resorted to extreme measures just out of boredom and took up impossible challenges, such as attempting to eradicate his entire race. Since Czarnians were known for regenerating at an impossible rate, Lobo developed a scorpion-like insect that would cancel out this superpower and then unleashed it upon a population of 5 billion. While his species died a slow death, Lobo immediately moved on to other things and spent this time getting drunk and playing a guitar. Lobo's intelligence also manifested in the form of mechanical aptitude, and he had modified his space hog to turn into a warp speeder equipped with all forms of advanced weapons. He even managed to source some equipment off a destroyed time hopper and then fixed it onto his vehicle to turn it into a makeshift time machine.
Translating intellect.
So that's how you want to play it? Fine.
Number 6. Tracking ability. Among other things, Lobo has superhuman senses that allow him to sense things across intergalactic distances. These senses come together to make him one of the best bounty hunters in the universe. His prey could not even dodge him by moving across galaxies, and he could always track their scent and sense all their weaknesses before capturing them. Number 7. Extreme durability. It goes without saying that Lobo has a naturally enhanced physiology, and his ability to regenerate himself only adds to his invulnerability. In addition, he boasts of extreme durability that prevents him from getting injured or tired in fights. While he can always bounce back from lethal attacks, his durability helps him withstand extreme temperatures, radiations, or energy blasts without sustaining any injuries. He has even fought against Superman and Saint Nick, taking on 8 opponents at once without getting any rest. While he has suffered some damage from bullet attacks and magic spells at times, he has managed to maintain an invulnerable reputation for the most part, and he once even stood his ground after an exhausting battle with Devastator. Number 8. Ability to clone himself. Among other things, Lobo also possesses the ability to clone himself from a single drop of his own blood. Every last drop retains his personality and abilities, and Lobo can conjure a clone of himself just by spilling a singular drop of blood. While Vril Dox removed this ability, Lobo gained it over time, and his ability to clone himself has once again been restored. Number 9. Language proficiency. As a byproduct of his intelligence, Lobo can speak and understand about 17,897 languages from all parts of the universe. These include long-forgotten or even special languages such as Morse codes, and his multilingualism proves to be of a great help when he has to hunt people down across different planets. Number 10. Lobo's Red Lantern Power Ring. While Lobo is already quite a powerful entity in the DC universe, he had a lot more potential, and the creators finally decided to give him a mighty weapon in the form of a Red Lantern Power Ring. In the Green Lantern Brightest Day story arc, Hal Jordan and the rest of the Green Lanterns face a monumental threat in the form of Atrocitus, who seems to be working alongside Lobo. To aid his new ally, Lobo shows up to the fight against Hal Jordan and stirs up some commotion before promptly leaving the scene. Atrocitus seems to be quite indebted to him, and he then gifts him the Red Lantern Power Ring as a token of his gratitude. In the past, Lobo had once used the Green Lantern Ring to enhance his size before stabbing Atrocitus, and one can only imagine the kind of damage he can incur with the help of the Red Light of Hate. Number 11. Soul Manipulation. Over the course of his story arc, Lobo managed to strike a deal with a cosmic entity and earn the ability to manipulate souls. In this situation, Lobo could essentially leave his body in case it was too damaged and wait until his corpse regenerated before returning. While this might sound extraordinary, there is a lot more to his soul manipulation abilities, and he can even possess others' souls or even destroy them. Lobo gains this ability after his soul is banished from both heaven and hell, which means that his soul is stuck in a temporal space in the event that his body disintegrates. Since he cannot do a whole lot of harm to his enemies' physical bodies in this state, Lobo resorts to attacking and destroying other spirits. Lobo's inability to die and leave the mortal world makes him quite a nuisance to other superheroes, as they have no option but to keep fighting him until he gets bored and chooses another target. Number 12. Dimensional travel. In almost every iteration, Lobo has retained the ability to travel across dimensions and pursue his prey no matter where they choose to hide. He often relies on his trusted motorcycle, which not only helps him travel across dimensions, but also fires missiles and stores some of his weapons. This bike can go up to the speed of several million Ks per minute, and it is a fitting vehicle for a proficient bounty hunter like Lobo.
Ha! Gotcha!
Marvelous verdict, and with that, we wrap up this video that sheds light on some of Lobo's more underrated powers. While he might be known as one of the most terrifying bounty hunters in the DC universe, his skill set expands beyond tracking, and he is also quite an intelligent entity with the ability to clone himself and remain immortal. We hope you had fun exploring his powers, and do share your favorite ones in the comments below. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone!